Alright guys, so I wanted to go over a couple more problems to help you with the homework tonight. And this is actually some of the problems from the homework. So the first one I wanted to do was number 8. Always check for GCF first when I look at these three terms. They do not have anything in common. So I want to make this into a 4-term expression so I can use grouping with it. Alright, so the first thing that we've got to do, we're going to make this t-chart. And remember, you've got to do A times C. So your A value is 2. Your C value is negative 21. So we're going to look for factors of negative 42 that add to a positive 1 here in the middle. Now, the important thing to think about here is because I'm multiplying by to a negative number, that means one of the signs of the numbers is going to be negative. Their signs will be opposite from each other. That's the only way this will work. So we look at our factors of 42. We have 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times 14, and 6 times 7. I could keep going, but then I just end up with 7 times 6 and 14 times 3, and I will have already covered the numbers that I've already got. So if I multiply 1 times 42, I'll get 42. So where these all multiply to 42, I need it to be negative 42, which means one of these numbers will be negative. So what I'm looking for is I want to rewrite positive 1 as 2 different numbers. So I'm going to substitute in right here. So when I look, I cannot make a positive 1 42 minus 1 or negative 42 plus 1. That's never going to go to 1. So I look through each of these, and the only ones that I can get to be a 1 are if I use 6 and 7. So I got to think about it. I have to look at their signs. I need a positive 1. So that means I'm going to have to do a positive 7 minus 6. 7 minus 6 is positive 1. So that's the pair I want to use. And I'm going to substitute them in. So I have 2m squared. Now the order in which I do this does not matter. So I'm going to just go in the order I have them written. 6m, that's plus 7, so plus 7m. And then minus 21. Okay, so now I have created 4 terms. I've not changed the value, I've just written it in a different form. It's an equivalent expression. Negative 6 plus 7 is positive 1, so it's not changed. I'm going to split it right down the middle, and I'm going to look at the left hand side only first. 2m squared and negative 6m, they both have a 2m in common. So I'm going to pull out 2m. What is left behind when I divide is those cancel to 1, and I'm left with a single m. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, and the m's cancel. So that's the left-hand side. There's a plus after the split, so I'm going to put a plus here. 7 and 21 have a 7 in common. And what's left over? Those will cancel. I'm left with m. Negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3. Here's my chance to check it out. M minus 3. M minus 3. That's how I know I'm on the right track. If it's factorable, these will match. So my GCF is m minus 3. I'm going to take it out. And what is left over is 2m plus 7. That will go in the other parenthesis. If I multiply these guys back together, I'll end up right all the way back to the top. This will work every time, provided the original trinomial is factorable. So that was number 8. I also want to do number 10 because number 10 actually has a GCF. If we look, there's 2, 4, and 48. They all have a 2 in common, so I'm going to pull the 2 out. 2 is going to go in front, and what's left over is m squared plus 2m minus 24. Now that I've done that, I'm going to ignore this GCF. He's just going to kind of travel along. I'm going to bring him down. He's going to be in my final answer. There's nothing else I can do with that GCF, so I'm going to write my final answer there, so I'm going to put him there. I'm still going to do A times C. So when I make my chart, A times C, I'm going to get a negative 24. That tells me the signs of the numbers are going to be opposite each other, like we had in the problem above. Okay? So 24, we got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. These are all my factors that will make up 24, and I'm looking for two that are 2 apart through addition or subtraction, because I've got to have opposite signs. And the only one that's going to be 2 apart is 4 and 6. So now I think I got to get a positive 2. That means the 6 will be positive and the 4 will be negative, because positive 6 minus 4 is a positive 2. I'm going to substitute him in. M squared minus 4m plus 6m minus 24. Now I have my 4 terms. I'm going to split them down the middle. Check out the left-hand side. All they have in common is m. So I'm going to write m, and I'm left with an m minus 4 in the parenthesis. It's a plus after the split, so I'm going to put a plus. 6m and negative 24, they have a 6 in common. And I'm left with m minus 4. I have 2 parentheses that are the same, so I'm going to say m minus 4. And then what's left over is m plus 6. And I have my GCF. I cannot lose this. It needs to be in the final answer for it to all multiply back to where I started from. If I don't, I'm going to get exactly half that, and it won't be the correct answer. So make sure you keep your GCF, and that's your final answer on that problem. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and I'll see you tomorrow.